Hello, a murder trial ended in Luton today with areas of the town painted as places riven by feuding gangs and drug dealers willing to use firearms.
Some local people told Look East the town is divided up by postcodes with rival gangs protecting their turf. The comments came as two men were found guilty of murdering a drug dealer. Today, the widow of the victim said the police were doing their best, but they need the support of local people to drive out the criminals.
These were the last moments in the life of murder victim Richard Long, who pops into his local store to buy some milk. In less than an hour, he will be dead. With a lucrative drugs deal on his mind, he ignored his wife's instinctive pleas not to get involved. But he went ahead and paid for it with his life. Shot in cold blood by Simeon Johnson and his accomplice, referred to as M. He can't be named for legal reasons. Richard Long was lured to this square to buy £6,000 worth of skunk cannabis on behalf of a friend. But Johnson and M didn't want to trade. They planned to rob him of his cash at gunpoint. The designer clothes-obsessed killers left their victim dead in the street. A local woman resident who witnessed the murder was given police protection as she provided evidence. The victim's widow blamed her husband's death on the gang culture that she says is blighting some of Luton's estates.
He shouldn't have been there. He was a really good man. He shouldn't have been there. He was just trying to help a friend, and he paid for it with his life. Because these low lives, they have no respect for life. They have no respect for property. They have no respect for human kindness, and they stole him from me. They just took him from me that night.
This has been quite a difficult case to investigate due to the fact we're involved in two young men that have been involved in the supply of controlled drugs, and to supply those controlled drugs they've used firearms. So it's a very good day for Luton, removing two very dangerous men from the streets of Luton.
Richard Long didn't stand a chance. Even when he was dead, the killers gathered up the blood-spattered money, the bullet and the casing. The murder weapon has never been found, but police seized other firearms and ammunition. These pylons mark the postcode territory of the drugs gangs LU5 and LU4, the border of Houghton Regis and Lucy Farm. Convicted killer Simeon Johnson lived in Wheatfield Road, which was on the front line of the drugs gang's turf. Local people know the zones.
If you step into someone else's territory, and if you're not from that territory, it's basically slipping. And if someone finds out you're not from that hood, and you're in their hood, then basically there's trouble.
For older people, it's getting even rougher, like guns and that lot are getting involved in that.
The case bore all the hallmarks of drugs. While on the run, the killer M, who liked to wear a designer True Religion hoodie, checked into the Mayfair Hotel in London. The gun had been carried in an £800 Louis Vuitton bag, which was recovered by police.
It's the verdict we've been waiting for. It's the right one. It won't bring Rich back. I'm not happy. I'll never be happy again. But I'm satisfied with the verdict. The police and the jury have done a fabulous job.
The killers will be sentenced later this month. It's expected they'll each be sent down for around 25 years. Sally Chedsoy, BBC Look East, Luton.
The World Cup finally got underway in South Africa today, with the region's pubs hoping for a money-spinning summer of football. But police chiefs in all of our towns and cities are warning that they will crack down hard on drunkenness and public order offences.
It's been a long time coming. At this pub in Norwich today, Mexico supporters cheered on their national team in the opening game against the hosts, South Africa. The police hope this atmosphere will be repeated throughout the tournament. They want pubs that screen games to carry out risk assessments, have a supervisor and door staff on duty, and consider the use of plastic glasses. In the Suffolk village of Claydon today, the first victim of a World Cup crackdown. Twice this shop was caught selling alcohol to under-18s. It's now been banned from selling drink during the first 48 hours of the World Cup.
I feel bad for the shop. They've recently had their cigarettes stolen. They now can't sell alcohol. They're pretty much down to bread and butter.
You're not going to stop people from getting alcohol at the end of the day. They're just going to go to another place.
Today, the trading standards officer behind the ban returned to the store to check that alcohol had been removed from the shelves. You've effectively chosen to make an example of this shop at the beginning of the World Cup, haven't you?
Exactly. Businesses thrive on sales, and what we're trying to do here is send a very clear and strong message out that we will try and affect your ability to trade if you won't comply with the law.
One Stop, which is owned by Tesco, told us today We take our responsibilities towards the sale of alcohol very seriously. We're disappointed by this, and staff will receive retraining.
It is sending a message not just to that shop, but any public house, any licensed premises over this period, and in fact over the summer at large, really. If you commit offences like this, they will be dealt with.
Back in the pub, it ended a draw. The police will be pleased if all games pass off as peacefully as this one. Richard Daniel, BBC Look East.
Well, let's talk to Eddie Smith, who's a licensee in Ipswich and chairman of Ipswich Bar Watch. Do you need this kind of reminder that things could get pretty out of hand?
We've been working as a committee with Bar Watch, which is the sort of new version of Pub Watch now, for the last 8 months. So yeah, it doesn't hurt to remind people their responsibilities, especially going into the World Cup. So yeah, I quite welcome it actually.
You're being asked to do risk assessment, to use plastic glasses, to have supervisors and security staff on duty. Will you be doing all of that?
We've carried out a risk assessment. We're not going to use plastic glasses because we're not that sort of an establishment. I totally support the authorities with their recommendations where they apply. But all in all, every licensee has got a chance to make some money here and hopefully get people back to the pubs for the long term as well, not just cashing in for the World Cup.
It's a very difficult line to draw, isn't it? You want people to have a good time while they're watching the football, but you don't want them to have too good a time.
It's what the pubs are all about, and well-managed pubs, good licensees will make sure their customers have a safe environment, don't go home too drunk, too disorderly, and hopefully, as I say, we'll come back after the World Cup and support the pubs, because the rate pubs are shut in around the area at the moment. We need all the people we can get.
And during previous football competitions, I'm thinking of Thetford and the trouble that they had there. There have been trouble at some pubs. Are you expecting to show all of the games, so you're not just showing England games?
Yeah, no, I mean, Ipswich is very much a multicultural town these days, and it's important that all games are shown. You know, we're not actually putting any flags up. We'll be supporting every game, following all of them, and hopefully everyone's going to have a good time.
And hoping that England win.
That would be the cherry on the cake, I think. Yes, that would be nice, Stuart.
Adi, thank you very much for joining us. There's a lot more to come in Look East, including a mixed message for those parts of the region still waiting for a fast, broad